Did you know that Buddhism, one of the world's oldest religions, is surrounded by controversies that often spark heated debates? In this video, we will delve into the various controversies surrounding Buddhism. Shedding light on different perspectives and providing a nuanced understanding, the central challenge lies in navigating the complexities of how Buddhism is perceived and practiced in different regions and contexts. We will explore controversies such as the role of women in Buddhism, the concept of nirvana, cultural appropriation of Buddhist practices, and the commercialization of spirituality. The key moment will be when we discuss how these controversies impact the followers of Buddhism and the religion's global image. To wrap up, we will summarize the main controversies discussed and emphasize the importance of understanding the diverse perspectives within Buddhism. Don't forget to like and share this video if you found it insightful. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on Buddhism controversies. And remember to subscribe for more thought-provoking content. According to history, Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, was born as a prince living in luxury and power, but was often troubled by the endless suffering of human life. He renounced his luxurious material life to seek a path to liberation from the cycle of birth and death for himself and others. After 5 years of seeking the way, 6 years of ascetic practice in the forest, and 49 days of meditation under the Bodhi tree, he attained supreme enlightenment. On his journey to spread his teachings, the Buddha first taught his 5 former companions, establishing the first model of the 3 jewels in Buddhism. Over time, under the Buddha's guidance, the monastic community grew to include 12,000 monks and 6,000 nuns, along with many lay followers ranging from kings to commoners who revered the Buddha. At the age of 80, his physical body also perished like everyone else, ending a life dedicated to teaching and saving sentient beings. However, such a simple evaluation of the Buddha's career is not accepted in the period of developed Buddhism. To determine the Buddha's extraordinary nature, various interpretations have been formed, looking deeply into his spiritual essence. Previously, it was believed that he appeared in this world, renounced the throne, and became enlightened under the Bodhi tree. This view suggested that he became enlightened only in that lifetime. But now, according to the spirit of developed Buddhism, the Buddha had undergone many lifetimes practicing the Bodhisattva path, accumulating virtue and wisdom, which led to his attainment of supreme enlightenment in his current life. The Atthaka and Abhidhamma texts also aim to illustrate the process of practicing the Bodhisattva path by the Buddha. Based on this foundation, from the Mahayana Buddhist perspective, the Buddha's noble and eternal presence is because he has achieved the Dharmakaya, the body of truth. This means the Buddha's life was not just ordinary, but a culmination of immense virtue, wisdom, and extraordinary deeds. His success in teaching was due to his virtue and wisdom, which inspired others towards sanctity and enlightenment. Understanding the Dharmakaya, or the body of virtue and wisdom, the Avatamsaka Sutra further develops the concept of Vairocana Buddha, the Dharmakaya, representing the light of wisdom capable of communicating throughout the Dharma realm, reaching the consciousness of all beings without obstruction. When the Dharmakaya influences beings, they develop the Bodhi mind and practice, and anyone can be. With this explanation, the Buddha no longer has a fixed form, and nothing is not Buddha. Explaining the Dharmakaya, the Vairocana Buddha manifests in all forms. From humans to animals and even plants, everything is Buddha. Such a broad concept of the Buddha is difficult to grasp. From there, the Lotus Sutra proposes combining the Dharmakaya of the Avatamsaka Sutra with the Sambhogakaya, the body of bliss, forming a Buddha who eternally resides in the world. Called the Eternal 3 Jewels, the Avatamsaka's principle without the supplementary explanation of the Lotus Sutra could easily lead us to mistakenly think of the Dharmakaya as vast and formless. But the Lotus Sutra brings this idea back to reality. Thus, the Dharmakaya also originates from the physical body and the 5 aggregates. The Buddha also practiced from a physical body, creating the Dharmakaya and using it to influence sentient beings. In other words, the Buddha exists in this world, and within his physical body contains a perfect Sambhogakaya. This means the Buddha's life radiates boundless compassion, noble virtue, and unparalleled wisdom, manifested in actions that benefit and save the world. Thanks to this, beings turn towards him and aspire to follow the path of liberation. He laid out, the Buddha used his perfect Sambhogakaya filled with virtue and wisdom as the seed to create the Dharmakaya. The Dharmakaya, or the light of wisdom, shines on all phenomena, guiding them as skillful means of the Tathagata to transform society. We have not yet become Buddhists because we lack a perfect Sambhogakaya, meaning insufficient virtue and wisdom. So our Dharmakaya does not have the function called the Tathagata in the world. Therefore, according to the spirit of the Lotus Sutra, the crucial task on the path of practice is to cultivate our own Sambhogakaya, meaning striving to practice and develop understanding and virtue like the Buddha, equaling the Buddha, deeply imbued with this spirit, Nichiren Shonin. Revered by the Japanese as a bodhisattva of superior conduct, one of the four great bodhisattvas emerging from the earth in the Lotus Sutra, strongly opposed those who practiced only by seeking blessings from an external Buddha. For the more we chase after something outside of us, the more it weakens the Buddha within us. He illustrated this with the image of a bird in a cage listening to the singing of birds outside and imagining the vast, free, and fresh sky. We are like the bird in the cage, diligently practicing following the Buddha's footsteps to awaken the Buddha nature within us, which is the main task to accomplish. It is believed that although there is Buddhist power supporting us on the path of crossing 500 leagues of dangerous roads, the core issue is that we rely on Buddhist power to transform our body and mind, elevating us to the position of sages and saints, not hiding under the Buddha's shadow for eternal protection. No holy being's protection is given to those who live parasitically or to help petty souls. With the spirit of diligent practice to achieve a pure, harmonious, and dignified body with virtue and wisdom in this very life, it clearly shows the meaning of the eternal three jewels present fully in each of us. In conclusion, on the path of the Lotus Sutra, returning to ourselves, practicing to develop virtue, wisdom, selfless and altruistic actions for the benefit of others. Over time, practicing the Bodhisattva path until our body and mind are also crystallized by perfect virtue and wisdom, like the Buddha.